Hey, somebody's got to refill the bird feeder. You did? Excellent. Good morning, afternoon, or evening. You are listening to the Professional Noticer.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Here, you and I will use common sense and all the wisdom we can muster to move beyond what is true and go all the way to the truth.
Are you trying to give me the double talk?
With actual listeners in more than 100 countries around the world, I am the Professional Noticer.
Yeah, you were funny. You're funny, all right. You're a scream. You ought to get a job on one of those excursion boats.
Hello, everyone. I'm Andy Andrews. Hey, thank you for making me a part of your week. As the Professional Noticer, it's my job to professionally notice something for you, and nothing, of course, is off limits. So what is your question? Got something with business, spiritual issues, popular culture? We even tackled the odd conundrum like, if you make a mistake on purpose, is it still a mistake, or did you succeed? Look, my purpose here, today, and with every show we do, is to play the part of a best friend or coach. I want to help you live the life you would live if all your toughest questions were answered. Our sponsor today is itam.org. Now, that's pronounced itam.org, but it's spelled IAITAM.org. This is the only global member-based training organization dedicated to meeting the needs of IT asset management professionals. I mean, this is the only place turning out asset managers that corporations immediately hire all over the world, because itam.org holds all the copyrights for all the training, for all the material. They offer the only degree. And this is done online. But how would you like to complete an accredited online program and get a degree that is actually in huge demand? And I know you might be saying, okay, well, in huge demand by whom? Well, how about everybody? Listen, go to IAITAM.org and look through their client list. This is Sony Pictures, NASA, the United Nations, like every state, every nation in the world. Google some of their clients. In fact, Google is one of their clients. Yahoo, Facebook, Microsoft, Apple. These companies only hire the people as asset managers that ITAM has trained, because ITAM offers the only accredited degree in the field. That's IAITAM.org. And when you talk to them, tell them you listen to the Professional Noticer. Okay? They're buddies of mine. They'll be fine with that. All right. Observations and answers are what we do here. I deliver the observations. You provide the questions. And always remember, the quality of your answers can only be determined by the quality of your questions. I'd love to field a question from you, so write me. Email is theprofessionalnoticer@andyandrews.com. And if we use your question, we will send you your choice of the Guided Traveler Experience, or you could choose the 100-Year Parenting Program. It's a collection of 53 videos and is useful whether you're a coach of young people, a person working in traditional business, or obviously parenting. This is good stuff. But this week, we have a great question from Martha. Now, I have to admit here that Matt gave me this early. Okay, he said, now you probably want to listen to this early. And he was right, because I listened to it twice, and now we'll listen to it together. You ready? Hey, Martha.
Hey, Andy. So I've listened to every episode of The Professional Noticer. I'm a great admirer of your work, and even when the questions other people ask don't seem to have any relation to my life, the answers you deliver always do. So that's rather strange to me, and I often find myself waiting to see if it happens again, and as I said, it does. So Having listened to your podcast so many times, I know that one thing you've already said, if you use this question, is that the quality of your answers will be determined by the quality of your questions. So, okay, here is my question. Is there a particular type or category of answer that you believe impacts people more than any other? And if so, what kind of answer would that be? So thank you for considering my question.
Wow. Okay. First of all, thank you, Matt, for letting me see this early, because this is a great question. And I really had to dig into this and think about that. And good grief, Martha, I hope to goodness my answer. I think I know exactly what I believe here, but I had to think it through. It's a great question. What kind of answer impacts people more than any other? And I had to think, well, what are the different kind of answers? Are we talking about like, business answers? Are we talking about answers about family or, but I think there's a different way to describe types of answers. I think there can be answers to questions in life that everybody has. I think there can be answers to unusual questions. I think there can be answers to questions like you say, Martha, that you feel like, well, the question didn't really apply to me at all, but then you find out the answer has value. I think that is a particular type that does impact people because I think they have to listen to it. They have to dig in and figure out how it affects their life. I think, unfortunately, I think most people, when some question starts out, I have 3 children under the age of 10. I think there's a lot of people just go, yeah, okay, well, thanks. Let me skip to the next question. And they don't even listen to the answer, which doesn't really help. I think that what you have figured out a way to do to be able to find some context in the answer that touches your life, I just think that's hugely valuable. It's brilliant. However, I believe I have come up with a category of answer that does impact people more than any other. I think that sometimes this kind of an answer can hit people between the eyes and capture their attention and continue on with their imagination and their exploration as they move from good to great to best. And here is how I will describe this answer. I think the best kind of answer that somebody can get, the most impactful answer in somebody's life, is an answer. If the quality of our answers are determined by the quality of our questions, I think the answer that can blow people away to the greatest degree is the kind of an answer to which they didn't know there was a question. Does that make sense? Right? I mean, they, sometimes we haven't thought our lives through to a certain point. Sometimes we will learn something and we'll go, good grief, I can totally use that, but I'm not sure I would have ever found that with a question. I didn't even know that was something out there to learn. It wasn't ever even anything I had considered. I'll give you an example. I was talking to a very close friend the other day, and this family is very, very successful. And they have lived successful lives. They continue to do so. They have been very successful for generations. And when I say they have been successful, I mean they have passed down wisdom and wealth for generations, and that wisdom and wealth have increased for generations. And that's a successful outcome, no matter how you look at it. Because for one thing, it's a continual outcome where the product, the value increases. And so they have managed this for years and years. I have also seen this family, and I've seen a lot of families like this that have hearts as big as the moon, man, and they have poured their money and their time into helping other people and into helping our country and helping the world. They've poured their money into education and into character-based things and into the political process, into just normal everyday education. They've poured it into charity work, and here is the curious thing, because I was talking to this person. I said, it's odd to me that you guys have been so generous through the decades, and you obviously have a heart for other people. And so I've seen over and over again that people want to. I mean, if you ask most people, would you like to live like this family? Would you like your family to turn out like this family? I mean, most people would say, well, absolutely. Okay, well, now if you look at this family, you say, are you guys willing to help people? Are you willing would you like for other people to live like you live? Would you like for other people's families to be successful and pass down wealth and wisdom for generations? Would that make our country better? Would that make our world better? Would you like people to live like this? And they say, well, of course, we've put our money where our mouth is. Of course, that's what we want to do. Okay, so I got a question for you. If these people are willing to help anybody who wants help, and then the other side, these people are dying they would give anything to have the results this family has, and the family obviously knows how to do it, well then, where's the hang up? Right? I mean, if one side wants to know, the other side's willing to tell them, where is the hang up? And I think I know what the hang up is. I think the challenge is that there are a lot of people, there are a lot of families, and they know how it's done. They know how to do it. Unfortunately, until they can explain why what they do works as it does, a lot of it just sounds like opinion. I'll give you an example. If somebody went to one of these people and said, "Man, I've got kids. I'll do anything you tell me to do. What do I do? Just tell me what to do." And let's say that that person said, "Yeah, okay. Here's one thing. I think you should. I saw your kids at the ballpark the other night. Love your kids, but I think you should make sure they turn those hats around. Bills forward. let's don't wear the hats backwards. And I think that's something to do. And so let's say that the person seeking the wisdom, seeking the information says, okay, why? And the first person said, well, that's something that our family has always done. We've just always thought that, we're wearing our hats with, the bills forward, and that's just one thing that we do. We've always done, and you wanted to know what we do, and that's just one thing I suggest. And then the other guy would say, okay, but like, why is like wearing your hat backward? Is that a sin? And the wealthy person from the generations of family, he would most likely say, well, no, it's not a sin, but it's something. Probably my granddad started that. He didn't like that look, and so my dad kind of carried that on, and that's just something that our whole family, nobody wears their hats that way. And then the other guy would say, what, I appreciate this, and I am willing to do anything, but I kind of think that's an opinion, right? I need you to tell me something that is just based on something more than an opinion, because I understand that you guys all do that, but like you said, it's not a sin. It's just kind of an opinion. And so my point is that these guys they never connect, because one guy is telling them what they do, and the other guy's, he's not really understanding, because the first guy, he's telling them what they do, but he can't explain why they're doing it. But let's just say the conversation went like this. Let's just say that the guy said, well, I saw your kids at the ballpark the other night. Man, love your kids. I think they're great kids. But if I were you, one of the things that I would do is I would explain to them just about, like an example would be the hat backward thing. I would explain to them why they might consider turning those hats around. Now let me just say this. It's not a sin or anything, and it's kind of an opinion. There's nothing wrong with it either. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. It's kind of like khaki pants. You like kind of the dark khaki, or like the light colored khaki. There's nothing wrong with either. And there's nothing really wrong with wearing a hat backwards. However, I wonder if you had to guess how many people in America, let's just say over 40 years of age, the hiring and firing age in America, let's just say, how many people would you think, what percentage, they just don't like that look? Maybe 20%, 25%, 15, I don't know. Let's just say 20%. Okay, so now listen, I'm not saying they're right. I don't even know who they are. And it's definitely just an opinion, okay? But for whatever reason, they don't like that look. Now, here's what your kids want to understand at some point. Everything they do now at 12 and 14 is going to impact the letters of recommendation they get when they're 17 or 18. Everything they do, everything they are impacts how people present opportunities, or whether they present opportunities, or whether they put in a good word or a bad word or no word at all. And so when you're talking about things that are just kind of opinions, you want to have a reason for what you do. And, if somebody has skin cancer on the back of their neck and they need to cover it up, okay, that's a good reason. That's a good reason for wearing your hat backward, covering up the back of your neck. But if the reason is, well, that's what everybody else is doing, or, I just like the way that looks, or that's what a professional athlete does that I like. I mean, if that's your reason, then you have to really weigh that against the people that just don't like the look. Okay, because if you can go through your life and have 100% of the people thinking that or they don't think anything bad when they look at you. They don't disagree with how you dress or how you look or how you talk. I mean, if you have 100% on your side, you just have an advantage over people who only have 80% on their side. And when a kid who turns 17, 18, 19, 23, whatever it is, when a kid goes into the field of corporate combat with only 80% of the people kind of on his side, he's always going to be beaten by the kid who has 100% of the people on their side. So you just want to think through the things that you do, and you want to teach them to think through those things that they do, to know why they do what they do. So there is kind of my answer, Martha. I think that, as I was talking to this friend, he said, that never even occurred to me. But boy, that makes a lot of sense. And so what he got there was an answer to something he didn't even know there was a question about. And it's kind of shifted what he's thinking about, what he's doing, what they're doing. And I believe if I can get some version of that message out to more and more people, I think it will shift and help a lot of lives. But that's also my answer to your question. I think the best kind of answer is the kind of answer that that comes in from the sky that people didn't even know there was a question to. Thanks so much for your question, Martha. I'm Andy Andrews, the professional noticer. I'm harnessing common sense and wisdom, trying to plow through some challenges all the way to an answer for you. Hey, here's the thought. I know you can use Google to find the answer to what shipwrecks are closest to my home. But there's a difference in knowledge and wisdom, right? Knowledge will help you get certified as a diver, but wisdom will tell you whether you should go deeper or not. Pure knowledge without the wisdom to apply that knowledge is not only useless, it can be dangerous. So allow us to suggest wisdomharbor.com. That's wisdom, H-A-R-B-O-U-R, harbor with an O-U-R. Go there now, get a free 5-minute guided tour, and become a member of Wisdom Harbor. Join us. It's not expensive, and do it for your family, your business, and your schools. That's wisdomharbor.com. Okay? I'm the professional noticer. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you appreciate this podcast, we would really appreciate you going to iTunes and giving us a nice review. That is how they choose the way people find out about what we're doing. And of course, you can only review a particular podcast on iTunes one time. But please, if you haven't done so already, go ahead, make today your day. And I think that'll do it for this week. Hey, get us out of here, Matthew. So, ladies and gentlemen, and to the boys and girls who aspire to become ladies and gentlemen, we have reached the end of another episode of The Professional Noticer. In a world where common sense has become a superpower, I'm harnessing the tiny bit of mental energy I have for you, seeking wisdom, making observations, and endeavoring to answer tough questions in a way that will empower your family and your business. I'm Andy Andrews. Until next week, Smile while you talk. And shake hands with the kids you meet. Make sure you have an answer to the question, if you had to live a Groundhog Day scenario, what day would you choose to begin again every morning? Hey, until next week, goodbye. This episode of The Professional Noticer was produced by Matt Limford. The Noticer theme written and performed by Sugarcane Jane. Phonograph cylinders, antique and modern, provided by Twinkle and Smoke of Beverly Hills. Additional financial consideration provided by the Assembly of Couch Potato Crafters. The Assembly of Couch Potato Crafters is dedicated to the creation of unique pieces of furniture that are pleasing to the eye, environmentally friendly, and, in the case of an emergency, actually edible. Through sustainable growing practices, we deliver the ultimate potatoes that are not only rugged, but guaranteed not to decay for 5 to 7 years. Looking for the perfect couch to fill your rustic living room? Our team of Couch Potato Crafters will unload a flatbed of spuds into your room and get to work with industrial-grade toothpicks. Each potato is painstakingly stacked and held together by thousands of picks that slowly take form into what soon will be the center of conversation the next time your friends are over. Our couches, once completed, come with plush pillows covered in the finest tough sheet fabric. You're going to love being a couch potato on your potato couch. That's the Assembly of Couch Potato Crafters, and yes, we are from Idaho.